10 things Erling Haaland owns that cost more than your life. Erling Haaland is a name known to almost every football fan around the globe. And this is not for any other reason other than the fact that he just cannot stop scoring goals. Yes, he is a goal machine, as he has broken, or more like smashed, record after record for goals. He has also broken the record for the fastest time to score 25 Champions League goals, hitting them in just 20 matches. He is no doubt looking to beat more records, but one aspect of his life we find unbelievable is how big he is at this age, making him a fearsome prospect among Premier League defenders. Ask Crystal Palace. We will not be surprised if he turns out to be a human-like robot in the coming years, such as his effectiveness in the form of goals and how much fear he sends into his opponents well before match day in England and Europe. Let's not forget that his father, Erling Haaland, was a football player, now retired, for Nottingham Forest, Leeds United, and, guess, Manchester City. Now you understand why it was easy for Erling to get his son to the club, although much of it was based on how good Haaland was in the field of play. But we are not here for all of Erling Haaland's exploits on the field of play. We are here to explore on what exactly Haaland spends his millions. Like many other professional footballers who earn lots of money from football, Haaland has followed in the footsteps of many of them by acquiring many costly and noteworthy objects. This should not be a surprise since Haaland earns around $900,000 per week, a stark contrast to the around $153,000 he was earning at the Signal Iduna Park, the $25,000 contract at Red Bull Salzburg, and a mere $75 per week at Molde. So do not be shocked when you see or hear some of the prices of the items on this list. They probably cost more than your life. Football is now a numbers business, and if you're not in it, you are probably missing a lot. Okay, back to Haaland. Haaland has a lot of money, and while some of it is spent judiciously, he also has acquired a lot of stupidly expensive things with it. From buying a private jet to offering private flying services to buying the fastest station wagon, here are 10 things Haaland has that probably cost more than your life. Private jet. Haaland is one of the numerous footballers to own a private jet. The Manchester City striker acquired a Piper M600 together with his father and 2 contractors. The M600 is a luxurious single-engine turboprop jet that costs around $2.4 million, 25 million in Norwegian krona. With his father's advice, Haaland opted to make it an investment slot rather than a liability in his name at the airport. The M600 has 6 seats and is a fixture for many businesses owned by business moguls and wealthy financiers around the globe. Apart from using it for his personal trips, Erling Haaland, his father Alfie, and 2 major contractors opened a business that offered private jet services. The business currently operates in Norway and the company is based at Stavanger Airport in Sola. Who knows? You could charter the jet and find one of the Haaland's Manchester City shirts lying around somewhere. Slight chance though. Houses. For a footballer superstar, it's absolutely normal to live in a nice house and an absolute must to have a place somewhere warm. In 2022, Haaland purchased a giant 981 square meter villa in Marbella for €6.5 million in one of the most exclusive areas close to the Golden Mile. The villa offers stunning views of the city and the Mediterranean, multiple bedrooms and spacious living rooms, a sauna, a garage, a large outdoor pool, outdoor showers, a huge garden, and much more. The pool alone is 77 square meters. He believes Spain will become his second home, and the Haaland family has made it no secret that they love Spain, having taken countless trips to spend holidays in the lovely Spanish weather. Wristwatches. Suppose there is any list on the planet that comprises football players who adore wristwatches and are bona fide wristwatch enthusiasts, Erling Haaland will surely be somewhere at the top of that list. Erling has been showing the world how much of a fan of wristwatches he is by collecting prized and rare wristwatches since he was 19 years old. This dates back to his time at Red Bull Salzburg. The elite striker loves rose gold wristwatches, especially ones made by French watchmaker Piquet. Before we mention which wristwatches cost more than your life, It is probably a good idea to mention that Haaland gave classic Rolex Submariners with personal engravings to his teammates just when he was departing Borussia Dortmund. What we would give to have been a Borussia Dortmund player or staff member last year. Here are some stupidly expensive wristwatches Erling Haaland has in his collection. Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Black Panther. Haaland has a custom Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Black Panther edition that costs $167,000. This watch is a rare piece as it is just one of 250 pieces produced for the sole and noble purpose of immortalizing our favorite Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman. May his soul rest in peace. If you are looking for one of those right now, you'd need to pay at least $400,000. Swiss-made Rolex Cosmograph Daytona. One will think that if someone loves wristwatches, they will stick to one brand, right? Surprisingly, he seems to love various brands, which are on the high side to purchase. So Haaland also has a Rolex Cosmograph Daytona 18K yellow gold that costs $90,000. Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Double Balance Wheel. The Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Double Balance Wheel is probably the most famous watch in Haaland's collection, even though he has been wearing it since 2016 at Borussia Dortmund. It is famous simply for its rose gold components, which give it a skeletonized appearance and is hard to miss at first sight. You simply cannot help but marvel at the steel-backed wristwatch when you see it. This baby comes in at a price between $70,000 to $140,000, so if you see one with someone, you know how much they got lying around. Louis Vuitton bags. Haaland has also been a fashion icon since his youth, sporting different high-class outfits made by the big boys in fashion. He is regularly seen appearing dressed in Louis Vuitton and Dolce & Gabbana garbs. However, none of this was more surprising than when Haaland walked into his home ground's changing rooms on his debut with a Louis Vuitton bag that cost £8,000. Nothing could have prepared the paparazzi, which was obvious by the rumor mills spinning into overdrive before, during, and after the game. This was not the first time Haaland had a bag that costs more than your life on his shoulders anyways. Back in 2021, when he was plying his trade at the Signal Iduna Park, he was spotted carrying another Louis Vuitton bag, sky blue this time, that had a price tag of $2,000. You gotta guess who he was playing against that day: Manchester City. Also in 2022, he was spotted arriving for another game carrying a $10,000 brown Louis Vuitton bag. I bet Haaland's got more surprises for us in the days and years to come. Cryotherapy chamber. Not everyone has a cryotherapy chamber in their home, but our big man Haaland does. Guess who else has one installed at home? The unmatched Cristiano Ronaldo. Leicester City has one installed in their stadium, so it's not just a Haaland thing. The whole idea of the cryotherapy chamber is to help sports players recover from games faster and better. It also helps the body heal in the long run. These treatment chambers expose the body to temperatures of minus 150 degrees Celsius. This is done for a few minutes, though. Less than 3 minutes depending on your weight. Purchasing cryotherapy chambers is not cheap. Each goes for about $50,000, and installing it adds to the bill. But then, money's not so much of a concern when you've got it in spades, yeah? Rolls-Royce Cullinan. Football celebrities love to own cars, and multiple ones at that, and Haaland is no different. We see many of them drive these incredible hypercars during their personal schedules, especially to their trainings. Haaland has a few superb automobiles in his garage, and it is obvious to blind people and audible people who are deaf or hard of hearing that he loves to go fast on the field and off of it. Just recently, after Man City defeated Bayern Munich 3-0 in the Champions League, he arrived at training in a stunning Rolls-Royce Cullinan. The crazy thing about it, the basic version of that car costs a whopping $350,000. Just absolutely insane! This is probably the most expensive car in Haaland's Manchester garage. But you never know which car he'll buy next, seeing that he has a penchant for moving fast. The Audi RS6 Avant. Another supercar to mention is the Audi RS6 Avant he owns. If you're wondering what Haaland thought when he bought a station wagon, then maybe you do not understand the point. the Audi RS6 Avant is one of the world's fastest station wagons, clocking 0 to 60 miles an hour, or 97 kilometers per hour depending on where you're from, in less than 3.5 seconds. Sporting Audi's faultless 4-liter twin-turbo V8 engine, it is said to deliver up to 556 horsepower, and Audi plans to boost that up to 700 horsepower. Now you understand why Haaland has the Audi RS6 Avant in his garage? Don't get surprised if he gets his hands on the faster version though. Oh, and before we get distracted by speed, the Audi RS6 Avant goes for a solid $128,000. Range Rover Sport. Range Rover vehicles are classy and usually considered objects of status. Haaland is a celebrity in his own right and deserves all the accolades. It is, therefore, no surprise he owns a Range Rover Sport. The Range Rover Sport costs around $100,000 and is a standard fixture at the Etihad, Stadium Staff Park, and the Manchester area. Moreover, Erling Haaland's Range Rover Sport is custom-made and reworked for his personal taste. Get yourself a Range Rover Sport and join the celebrity status row. So there you have it, 10 things Erling Haaland owns that cost more than your life. If you know anything left off this list, kindly share it in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, I appreciate you.